Today I want to talk to you about knowledge. Go to Genesis chapter 2, and we're going to start reading at verse 7. Genesis chapter 2, start with verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Verse 9. And out of the ground made the Lord to grow every tree that was pleasant to the sight and good for food. Remember that. Good for food. The tree of life, number one, also in the midst of the garden, the tree of knowledge and good and evil. So let me camp there just for a few minutes. So God had these trees that he planted in the midst of the garden, eastward of Eden. He had already formed Adam out of the dust of the sand and gave him spiritual life, gave him a life, living soul, breathing. He gave that to him. So he put him in there. And we're gonna see in a minute why he put him in there. But notice the tree of life was in the midst of the garden. And actually, it was in the center of the garden. So two trees, I want you to keep this in mind, two trees in the garden. One, the tree of life. Two, the tree of knowledge. And number two is where mankind has got themselves in trouble from generation to generation, because they're seeking knowledge, the knowledge to get money, the knowledge for power, the knowledge to rule over others. And instead of taking the tree of life, they decide they want knowledge. And I'm going to come back to that. Go down to verse 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it or to tend to it and to keep it. Verse 16. And the Lord God commanded man, Adam, saying, of every tree of the garden you mayest eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge and good and evil thou shalt not eat, or you shall not eat, for the day that you eat of thereof you shall surely die. Now, I'm going to read the Amplified for verse 17. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, blessing and calamity, you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. So, God took Adam, put him in the garden to tend to the garden, and told him specifically that at this time, Eve was not created. It was just him tending the garden. He told him, do not eat of the tree of knowledge and good of evil. Why did he tell him that? Because he knew as soon as he ate of that tree that he would die. Now you say, well, he didn't die physically because I can read more and I see more. No, he died spiritually. He could not hear from the Father like he used to, and things had changed. The relationship between him and the Father had changed forever. And that's been passed down to mankind since that time, since the beginning. We're talking about the beginning. This is the beginning. This is where knowledge came into the world, because God had planted a tree in the Garden of Eden, which is over in the Middle East. And some people say that this is where modern day Iraq is. That's where the Garden of Eden was planted. And he put trees in there, and he put two specific trees in there, and he told the first man, do not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Because when you do, you're going to die. And you're going to die spiritually, and it's going to bring all type of troublesome things in your life. And that's what happened. So, tree of knowledge and good and evil. Mankind has been seeking that all of their life. As long as I can remember, being in the world, people are seeking after money, power, lusts, everything they can think of, instead of seeking after the one that planted the tree with the fruit on it and get knowledge and wisdom from him. No, they want to get it themselves. I can do it myself. You know, that's why God said you will die, because you will start devising things yourself, your own knowledge and wisdom, instead of the knowledge and wisdom of the God, of the Lord of heaven. You want to devise things yourself. So what has came out of this here from Adam to now? All type of destructions where mankind have evolved to creating nuclear bombs, which has been around for a long time now, to wipe out a whole generation. If they they have the power to do it, and they can do it. So this is where the knowledge has grown and evolved to, where mankind is so wicked, where they kill each other for no reason, just because of the color of the skin. They kill them. They kill and maim and rape women. This is knowledge now. We're talking about knowledge. They kill innocent children. This is wicked mankind that's doing this here. So knowledge has went from a tree in the garden with fruit on it, and God telling Adam, do not eat of that tree. And he did. And he passed this curse down to all mankind to this day, where mankind is like a ravaged animal, ravaging everything. One thing before we go, I want to mention, everybody think about this here. I want you to ponder on this here. Why didn't Adam eat of the tree of life? Remember, 2 trees in there. And the Father specifically says, don't eat of the tree of knowledge. But he did not say, don't eat of the tree of life. If Adam would have ate of the tree of life, things would be totally different for us in the day we're living in, 2021. Stay tuned.